we got some slippage. We changed pulleys out recently on the Carbon Fox. We had the small pulley, which, let me grab it because everybody always asks what the pulley setup was on this car, what it is. Okay, so this is the pulley setup that we had before, which is a 295. Okay, that's what we had before. And the car was making, well, initially the car was making like 15 pounds. And I noticed a little, like a flutter in the boost gauge on camera. So I said, well, we probably got some belt slip, so we need to tighten it down. So we tightened the belt down. With that pulley, it made like 22 pounds of boost. So that's a no-go. That's not gonna work. So we put this pulley on, and as you can see, it touched the little crossover, so before I could get it adjusted out. So now we've got a skin up expensive pulley. But anyway, we swapped over to this. I think this is a 3.5. So I'll show you down here. If you can, it's really hard to see, but if you see the angle, see this is one side of the belt and this is the other side. See how far it's separated from each other? Right there is a good view. You're not getting a lot of belt wrap, and you can also tell right here by the way the belt just kind of runs right off the edge of the pulley. So with this being honestly too short of a belt, you would think that, you know, it wouldn't slip, but it actually does. It slips pretty bad like this because this belt was meant for that pulley. It will go on, but it's pretty tight. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. We have a longer belt, but it might be too long. Also, shout out to Memphis. She's doing the video for us. This is how you adjust your belt. See that 10mm bolt down there? Right there? That's the way you adjust your tension on your belt. Let me see if I can get you guys right here. See the pulley down there? Oop, wrong way. That's too tight. All right, we got our new belt on, and that wasn't fun. This is a really tight setup. If you guys are wondering about the 10 rib, just know that it is tight. I mean, as you can see, there's just millimeters in between stuff. But now we've got plenty of wrap. As you can see down here, that belt's pretty close together. And we definitely got a little more wrap out of it. And that's about the way you want it right there. It's pretty tight, but it's not overly tight. So that should be good. That belt was almost too long. But honestly, the longer the belt, if you can get that thing to wrap up, the better off you'll be. So I'm pretty satisfied with that, I do think. We'll have to see once we drive it. Get a little warmer and then we'll roll into it and we'll check our boost. I'm sure our AFR is going to be on point because the tune doesn't change. we hit 10 pounds and then it wants to drop to about 5. But this time I'm just gonna go ahead, put it to the floor, and we'll see what happens. We'll just let it go through its progression. I hope the AFR is good because I can only watch one thing at a time. All right, we're gonna leave her in drive. Crazy that pulley, no way it dropped 10 pounds. We must still have a little bit of belt slip or something. But it feels great. The car runs wonderful. Yeah, we're definitely getting belt slip. I can actually smell the belt. So we're getting belt slip. All right, let's get to the house and we'll talk about it. Got the belt tightened up. Should be good now. We'll try and see. Also, I've had experiences in the past with a brand new belt. Like, it's a Gates belt, but it's not the highest quality. And some of those things are just really stiff, and it takes a little bit before they wear in. But we'll go try it real quick. We're not gonna like drive it very far. We'll just see if this thing's making more boost. The car runs great. Like, it pulls hard, but I think the belt's still slipping. This belt may be too long. Maybe a little too long. So of course, right after I turned the camera off, it actually made boost. So I guess the belt slipped enough, it got warm, it did whatever it's gonna do, and it made boost. It made about 12 pounds, which is spot on. That's about where we want this thing. Anywhere from, 12 to 14, 15 pounds is really what I was kind of looking for. Here's the deal, at 12 pounds, this car runs really good. Sometimes cars don't like a lot of boost. I'll give you a good example. This car at 15 pounds, it felt really strong, it did. But at 10, 11 pounds, it actually felt stronger. Now, part of that can be attributed to wheel spin or whatever the case may be. But sometimes cars, there's a sweet spot with boost. And I think this car is gonna be somewhere between the 10 to probably 14 pound mark is where I think this thing is gonna run the best. But yes, it did make boost. I'm not gonna keep running this thing up and down the road. My neighbors probably already hate me. So trust me, guys, it made 12 pounds and it held it pretty freaking steady. So we're good on the boost. That did fix the problem. I still would like to go just a ½ inch shorter on this belt if I can find something a little shorter. But yeah, I think the Carbon Fox is ready. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys. I think I'm gonna change the cam out in this car, and I will be sticking with an Anderson cam. I really like those cams. And yes, I'm going to be purchasing the cam, and I know somebody's going to say, well, of course, when you're getting them free. I'm not getting them free. I will be purchasing the cam, and I've talked with Donnie B, and I think we have one in mind, and it's going to chop pretty hard. It's not a blower cam, I'll tell you guys that, so probably going to sacrifice a little bit on the low end. We'll see. It's an experiment, right? We got to change stuff up, and I'm about ready to change it up. This is a freaking awesome cam for this setup, and I probably shouldn't be changing it, but I want this thing to hit hard. Like, I love the way Papa T's car sounds. I have people ask, how do you like the AOD? How does it all work together? Do you like it? Can it be daily driven? The answer is yes, but you have to remember it's got 410s in it. It does have overdrive, but cars can run warm on a hot day. On a really hot day, it can run warm. So for me, I probably wouldn't daily drive this thing like a, 40-mile round trip back and forth to work every day in the dead of summer. I probably wouldn't do that. But can it be? Absolutely. You throw you some really good electric fans on here, or either I need to put a condenser on it. Get this thing where it'll cool good. And yeah, you absolutely could daily drive this thing. But here's the issue. This is a non-intercooled supercharger setup, as you can see. You have to be careful with that because these IATs get really, really hot, and that's not very good for this engine. When this thing's up above 200 degrees and you're stomping it and you're killing it and it's dead of summer and the engine's already hot, I would say no. I would say for a daily setup, this would not be my choice. That would be. That's an S trim. Thing runs a little cooler, and it performs great. An S trim is awesome. So you could always go that route. You can always intercool it, but that's a lot of piping, and I'm not too good at that type of stuff. So, and actually, truth be known, I have an On3 intercooler over here. If it would, I don't know if it'll fit or not. I don't think it will. I think it's a little too big. But, I mean, we could just use that. Any intercooler will work. I think it's a little bigger than what's in the Calypso. Guys, we've almost finished this car up, and we're going to be moving on to the next one. Probably going to be doing some work on Papa T's car, on the Calypso. I know we're about to do some stuff to it. I got something big coming for that. It's already here. And then we're also going to be working on the 65 Fastback up there here pretty soon, too. Also, Andrew's car needs to be restored. We want to paint this thing, run a whole new fuel system on it, redo the interior. So I'm pretty sure that's going to probably get started this year as well. So we got to tidy up all this stuff. We need these engines to stay together so that we can move on to the next project. I can't afford to be tearing up an engine right now, blowing it up and building another one. If this engine goes for right now, it's probably just going to have to stay gone. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.